Determinism is the belief that events transpire out of one's control, and in this video we will take a look at how determinism affects the world of Berserk. If we look at the philosophical theme, it deals with behaviors of the universe and humans and everything that lies in between, as it's all predetermined. With that being said, Berserk deals with the trials and tribulations that come with that, so let's get into it. A Berserk quote from the animation series states, "In this world is the destiny of mankind, controlled by some transcendental entity or law. At least it is true that man have no control even over his own will." Casualty is the principle in Berserk that deals with cause and effect. It's abstract and distinct from fate, yet strays away very far from the word luck. Both Guts and Griffith have been characterized as having the luck of a devil, which I interpreted as how both men put themselves at risk many times but come out unscathed, not due to their mere strength only, but some sort of predetermined superiority that lies over them. Guts was especially convinced when Griffith survived the assassination attempt due to his belief, believing that that type of abnormal activity was just beyond luck. According to Flora, the casualty flow is not a circle, but a spiraling case where some events may reoccur, but it will not happen as it was before. The great mage believed that God bestowed faith among humans, and it was for them to believe it or reject it. Everything happens through a chain reaction. Whether that might be positive or negative, it still predetermines the future. Next up, if we look at the idea of evil, it is an entity that exists within the abyss and is responsible for dictating the fate of all of humanity through, of course, the application of casualty. The idea of evil shedded light on why there needs to be suffering. There must be a balance between happiness and sadness, anger and joy, and suffering and peace. And the idea of evil fulfills the negative side and brings light to it in the human world of Berserk. We first see the idea of evil during the eclipse when Griffith's essence is transported to the abyss, where he gets these sensations to sacrifice, to which he says he feels nothing in his heart anymore. The idea states that the Beliet is a droplet of the sea that has spilled into the other world. Griffith issues the question and says, "God?" The idea then refers to Griffith as the chosen one, as he goes through to explain that it's nature that humans manifest unconsciously, and that's why Griffith is who he is. His desire to become this powerful king shaped his reality. The idea preaches to Griffith whether he chooses to sacrifice or choose salvation, it will be proved suitable for the world to endure. After all, Griffith chooses to sacrifice and to become Femto. Episode 83, in which the idea converses with Griffith, was intentionally excluded from volume format as Mira felt the appearance of the idea would limit the story's range. Now, moving on to the God Hand, they are essentially members that execute the idea of evil's will. By virtue, they share the same desire and is aligned with that of the idea of evil. They reign over other apostles as their master, along with playing a role in facilitating other sacrificial ceremonies and events that largely impact the rest of humanity's fate and the state of the universe. This exactly ties back to what this video is all about, something else being controlled of your fate. These members prepare for major world events that entirely affect humanity for the cause of their own desires. Each member of the God Hand, after all, was once human and owner of the Behilet, and every 216 years, another member of the God Hand will appear from another sacrificial ceremony. One can say Griffith's fate was already written for him, as he was trapped down in the depths of the dungeon in Midland. The God Hand informs him that there will be an impending audience with him at a proper place and time. Moving on, we have the brand of sacrifice. These are the people who were chosen in the sacrificial ceremony. The branded humans that survived reside in both the physical and astral worlds, where they must protect themselves from relentless souls who continue to desire flesh. Plus, if you were even around a member of the Hand, the brand will extremely turn red and have a pain like no other. Bounded by destruction for all their life to come, their fate was decided by the idea's desire. Determinism plays a big factor in Guts' life, as he goes down a path from a mercenary living a rogue life to falling in love with a girl who's been branded as well. As he tries to help her get her memories back, he has to deal with apostles bounded by fate to try to kill him, just because he is a survivor. Guts throughout his life has struggled with the after effects of the eclipse. I mean, if we look at the main chain reaction and cause and effect, this is because when Griffith sacrificed his mercenary groups, he creates a deep psychological scar on Guts, driving the need for revenge and hatred towards Griffith. And look at the after effects of all of that. He ends up meeting Flora and getting the Berserker armor while gearing up with new friends along his side, trying to recover Casca's memories. All of that would have never happened if it wasn't for the casualty of Griffith becoming Femto. Due to this, Guts also becomes emotionally unavailable and unstable with his emotions, to the point where his friendship with others and relationships suffer, as he fears of losing someone that's dear to him, becoming a focal point in his mind. It's safe to say that determinism is a philosophy that exists within Berserk, but it doesn't help out Guts in the slightest bit. Rather, it works against him. If you look at all of his scenarios, his fights, all the battle that takes place, it's against him, not for him. He desires none of this, yet he pushes through all of that just for Casca, for him to be with her once again. But we all know what happens in the latest chapter. Griffith takes her and runs away while he goes on another mental breakdown. In this point in time, the readers actually ask themselves, is this even worth it for Guts at this point? To keep suffering and struggling all this time for what? To get revenge on Griffith? He's really fighting a losing battle. I mean, everything's against him while Griffith always has the upper hand. I would hate to see Guts going through one of those depressive stages again, but it might just be good for his character. And what I mean by this is his character development. Maybe this philosophy theme in Berserk was a way to push Guts, to push him into becoming this ultimate hero for everybody, for the readers, and for Casca. Knowing that there's entities and unknown forces pushing against Guts makes it all but better for him to push through and to become the best version of himself. But at the same time, it kind of is scary. Guts is just a human at the end of the day that lives in the present physical world and the astral world. And if we take a look at his battles, sometimes his strength doesn't even push him all the way through. It's his revenge and ideal for hatred that drives him to kill the apostles. Maybe Guts one day can finally understand what makes Griffith who he really is, a person who gains power based on his desires. In the world of Berserk, there is no believing in destiny. Rather, everything is predetermined. So what does that mean for Guts and his future endeavors? Will the idea of evil let Guts defeat Griffith, or will Griffith retain the key to the kingdom? Only time will truly tell. If you guys haven't already, make sure to join the Discord down below, and for those who are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs, so it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm out.